Somebody broke into my car last week with my 9-year-old inside. And so immediately, of course, I think about blame. And I blame myself first, right? Because I left her in the car while I ran in to buy something. I was buying my wife a gift certificate for Mother's Day. In broad daylight, on a busy shopping street, we were surrounded by people. I hear a scream, door opens, I can see the door opening. I begin running, I hear my daughter screaming. Guy reaches in, he grabs my laptop, he grabs her Pinkie Pie backpack, which means he reaches for her, which scares the bejesus out of her, of course, traumatizes her, and jumps in a car, speeds off. There's no way to, we call it the license plate, we have everything, but Oakland PD, you write into a website to report it, but nothing happens, of course. So then you want to blame that, right? You want to blame the guy, you want to blame yourself. People in the rest of the country want to blame our laws, and they, talk about the threshold past which something is considered a misdemeanor versus a felony, and somehow that is making the difference here. Well, here's the difference. Here in California, $950 is the threshold past which a theft becomes a felony, and people think that's lenient. In more than 30 other states, it is higher than that. And in Texas, it's $2,500, way higher. So it's not that, obviously. When I talked to the district attorney for San Francisco, here in San Francisco, she was talking about how this perception versus reality thing, when it comes to violent crime, which is very low in San Francisco compared to other cities, versus property crime, where the crime rate's very high. Here's how she described how perception and reality shapes her priorities.
Our metric is what the people of San Francisco feel, what the people who come into San Francisco to work and to visit feel. And irrespective of what the data shows, we have a job to do to make sure that we address that feeling.
So what's weird about that, right, is that she's acting as if the acting on those feelings is going to make a difference. Of course, we know from multiple independent academic analyses that the actions and the policies of DAs don't really make any difference to the underlying crime rate. So it leaves me with nobody to blame. Myself, fundamentally. That is who I blame. But it is really hard to blame. I don't know. It's hard to account for it. But here's the thing that I think I'm taking away from it. My daughter is kind of my emotional guru. I go to her for advice on how to feel about all sorts of things. It makes me tear up to sort of describe this, but the first thing she said, through tears, while she's still shaking and traumatized, she says, why are people so desperate they feel they need to steal things? And she spent the rest of the day talking about how we need to make more housing for people and how people need to have more money. She sees the big picture so much better than I think the rest of us do. May we all be as cool as a 9-year-old crime victim and, I don't know, turn this whole thing around.